right. So Karen, we are almost there. Facebook's just doing its thing. And I believe you're live and ready to go.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the live stream of Kids Worship Service at Robertson Wesley United Church. My name is Reverend Karen Bridges, and as always, it's a great pleasure to be worshiping with you today. And today I'm out in a park. I'm in Paul Kane Park, and it is gloriously windy, full of the Spirit. I have some friends with me today to help with our worship service. Reverend Lee is here. If she wants to say a hello or give a wave, that'd be awesome.
There we are. Good morning, Karen. Good morning,
Hi.
everybody.
I also have another friend, Pan, who some of you might know. Hopefully Pan can give us a hello, a wave. Yay! Hello, Pan. How are you today?
I'm enjoying the outside despite the slight chill.
Excellent. I also have two of the youth from the church with me. We have Connell. Hello, Connell.
Hello.
Yay! And we have Sadie as well.
Hi.
So this is everyone. We are here. We are so excited to share with you this wonderful worship service. So we're going to start with a salutation to the dawn. So I want you, wherever you are, to look out a window so that you can at least see the light somewhere. So take a look out the window and see the light. And listen to these words. Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief chorus lie all the verities and realities of your existence. The bliss of growth, the glory of action, and the splendor of beauty. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow only a vision. But today, well lived, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day. Such is the salutation to the dawn. I don't know if you know, but today is Camping Sunday. And so for many, many years, both Reverend Lee and myself worked out at Camp Wohelo, a United Church camp on Pigeon Lake. While we were out there, every morning we would start by raising the flag and greeting the dawn with a salutation to the dawn, just like we did today. It's a way to remind us of our connection with all of creation. The United Church of Canada is very keen and very excited about finding ways to live with respect in creation. And so we encourage people to go out to camp in the summer, although this summer is going to be a little bit different. But we encourage people to be out in nature, to reconnect with all living things. Everything from the earth to the air to water and fire. And so today's worship service, we are going to go through a whole set of those things, because camping is a lot of fun, especially when you're able to be outdoors, sometimes with your friends, although, like I said, this summer is going to be a little bit different. We might have to pretend we're camping in our house or just in our backyard, which Pan will be doing today. So I wanted to start today by leading you in a chant about the importance of the earth, and specifically trees. So I'm going to ask you to do the actions with me. We're going to sing a chant. So first you have to stand up really tall like you are a tree, like the tree that's right behind me. So we're standing like a tree. And then we're going to say that our roots are dug down. And we do this by stomping our feet with our roots dug down. Roots dug down. And then our branches are wide and open. And then come down the rain. So you're making droplets. Come down the rain. Come down the sun. And then you're going to pick fruit from the tree. Come down the fruit to a heart that is open to be standing like a tree. All right, sing it with me a couple times. Standing like a tree with my roots dug down, my branches wide and open. Come down the rain, come down the sun, come down the fruits to a heart that is open to be standing like a tree with my roots dug down, my branches wide and open. Come down the rain, come down the sun, come down the fruits to a heart that is open to be standing like a tree. We have just honored the earth by reminding us about how important trees are. And today, trees are very important to sheltering me from the wind. I'm going to send you over to Pan, who's going to talk about fire. Pan?
Hello, my name is Pan, and yeah, you also need trees to have fire. It is a fuel, but the other element that we're going to get to afterwards is water. And right now, with our wind and our trees and our water to make a fire, we need them all. So I've got my trees, I've got my water for safety, and we're going to get a fire going. But first, I want you to think about all the things that you can symbolize with fire. Fire is the very passionate element. It is the Holy Spirit in essence. So if you think of set your hearts on fire. Hello, Roxy. That's my cat. I want you to be thinking of that and putting all of your gratitude and all of your energy into me starting this fire, because we need all of that love and all of that passion to really going. And yet it only takes a spark. Give me your gratitude. We're gonna pretend it works. And it's probably better that it doesn't right now. So in lieu of a fire, I am also going to light a candle because it is the same energy and the same feeling. We're gonna try not to have it blow out. But it did, because the wind is more powerful than my powers of a fire right now. But you can see the smoke maybe. Not perfect yet. It's sort of going and it might catch up. And I'll keep working on it so that the fire goes at some point. But I really wanted to send you away with that thought of what is fire, because it's not just this visual of fire. There's so many more things, but I'll pass it back to Karen for the next element.
Thanks, Pan. So I'm still in Paul Kane Park. And so we've talked about earth, we've talked about fire, and now I want to talk a little bit about water. Water is the essence of what keeps us going. It gives us nourishment, it refreshes us, it cleanses us. Sometimes it calms us and it heals us too. And so behind me, you can see a bit of water. Now, if I had my rubber boots on right now, I would go jumping in that puddle. It's a big puddle though. So in my alb, I don't think I will do that. But I want you to remember that when you are outside today, tomorrow, the rest of this week, that one of the ways we can honor creation is to care for our water. And so we might want to think about using less water in our showers. So maybe turning off your shower when you're putting the soap in your hair and then turning it back on, for instance. Maybe you want to make sure if you pour yourself a glass of water that you drink the whole thing and not throw it out. There's lots of different ways that we can conserve one of the most precious elements of our earth. But it's also fun to get, splashy, and splashy's good. Do you know what we use water for in the church? We use it for baptism. It's a good time to refresh ourselves and imagine the water pouring over us, like God's love pouring over us and surrounding us, holding us fast and keeping us calm. So now, being that we have an abundance of air, I'm going to go back over to Pan, who's going to talk about the air a bit.
Apparently it doesn't let our friends control my video. Yes, so air. Take a deep breath with me. Can you hear the sounds of the air? I'm outside and the wind is blowing through. You can feel the air and you move your hands. You can feel and taste and smell the air when you take a deep inhale. Let's do that. You can make wind when you're exhaling. Try. Sometimes it helps start fires. Sometimes it puts them out. But we can't live without air. Just like we need fire to keep us warm, and we need water to nourish and clean us, and we need the earth to clean that air for us. We need the earth to provide for us. We need all of these things. But I want you to believe that you're sharing that earth. You're sharing that air. When you breathe in, that's air that has traveled around the globe. So let's do 4 for our elements. 4 inhales and exhales, as deep and loud as you can. Ready? One more. You've taken in the breath of God and you've released the Holy Spirit. Thanks be for air.
Hello, friends. I want to tell you a story that we're going to hear in worship later today. It's about the disciples who went on the road to Emmaus. So after the women had gone to the tomb and they found that Jesus' body was gone, they went and told the disciples what had happened. After that, Cleopas and one of his friends decided they were kind of tired of waiting. They weren't sure that what Jesus had said would come true, and so they decided to go home. And so they started to walk down the road to Emmaus. As they were walking, they were telling stories about what had happened to Jesus with one another when a stranger suddenly appeared right beside them. And the stranger said, "Hey, what are you guys talking about?" And they kind of stopped and looked at the stranger like he was crazy. It would kind of be like today if somebody came up to you and said, "Hey, what's happening in the world today?" You kind of go, have you been asleep? Have you been in a cave? Like, how could you miss what was going on? So they started to tell the stranger about what had happened to Jesus and about all these amazing things and how the women had gone to the tomb after he had been killed and they found that he was gone, but the angels said that he would still be there and he would appear to them. It was pretty amazing. They talked about their friend in such wonderful ways. And then the stranger looked at them and said, "Huh, you guys are kind of foolish, really, and kind of slow of heart to believe." And the stranger talked about the scriptures and about all that it said about who was to come and become the Messiah, the disciple of all disciples, the King of all kings, Son of God. So they listened to the stranger for a while and it was getting dark. And so they said, "Hey, would you want to come and join us for dinner? Stay with us." The stranger thought about it and said, "Okay, sure." So they went and they set up a campfire just like we did today. And they sat around the campfire and were telling stories. When the stranger picked up a loaf of bread, blessed it, then broke it and gave it to them. And it was in that moment that they realized the person they had been talking to the whole time was Jesus. And just as they realized that, Jesus vanished. They couldn't believe it. They looked at one another and said, how did we not know? Like, weren't our hearts on fire and knew what was going on? And this person was amazing. And it was Jesus the whole time. Of course it was Jesus. Oh, we are foolish of heart. But they were so excited that they turned around and they went back to where the disciples were. The disciples were still hanging out in that upper room. And when they got there, they told them what happened. And the people there said, we saw Jesus. He was here. It's amazing how Jesus appears in ways we would never expect. But in that moment, their faith had suddenly become as if on fire. They believed. Do we need to believe? Of course we need to believe. Do we need to see something in order to believe? Or do we need to do things like rituals, coming together outside, taking moments to really appreciate all that's in front of us in order to see Jesus face to face? That is the question for this day. Now, I told you that I brought a bunch of my friends with me. And so we're going to do one of my favorite things to do at camp. At camp, every night we would sit around a fire and we would tell stories. We would sing songs. We've already sung some songs. So I thought we would do a circle story today using all of my friends. We are going to tell you a story, each of us giving you one line of the story. So are you ready for this? I'm going to let Reverend Lee begin. Look at the fire. It's awesome.
I was just going to say the fire looks so magical and wow.
That's fantastic. All right, story time.
All right, well, I'm going to start with words that often start stories. Once upon a time. Once upon a time, there was a caterpillar who was very, very tired.
Well, this caterpillar had been walking a long time. He wanted to get to his destination, and he got there just before dark.
He slowly, ever so slowly, climbed up a tree and started to weave the most wonderful cocoon.
It's really hard to continue a story when you haven't heard it.
Climbed up a tree.
In that tree, there were some leaves. And this was summertime. And there were leaves that were really looking very delicious. And the caterpillar hung out with those leaves.
The caterpillar was able to rest and have lots of food and give him his energy back.
And so the caterpillar, feeling better, thought, I'm feeling a little creative with all of this leaf juice. I wonder what I should make.
So the caterpillar thought it was about time for him to make his cocoon, but he decided to embellish it a little bit.
He added some twigs and some berries to it just to make it even cooler than a typical one so that people would know where he was.
So there's been a very cool cocoon made, Pan.
Oh man. So and the caterpillar, the darkness overtook the caterpillar. And so the caterpillar just decided that they needed to be in a cocoon. I don't know if we've gotten to the cocoon part yet, but now the caterpillar is in a cocoon, being safe in the dark.
After many days of resting in the cocoon, it slowly started to break out of its shell.
And all of those things that it had added to its cocoon to make it unique began to show up on wings.
Now these wings, they were just wings, but they told the story of the caterpillar, where it came from, what it put on its cocoon, how it got there. Nice wings.
It was so cool and it said so much, but people weren't sure they'd actually heard the story. And so as the butterfly would move its wings, it was like words were being whispered out into the world.
And it traveled on the wind and it hit all the corners of the earth until everyone heard the story of the butterfly that was a caterpillar.
And now everybody knew that all you had to do was just put in a little effort and be creative, and then all would be good.
The end. Thank you, friends.
That was awesome. I love the story, and it reminds us of how we can all be transformed if we just have some patience and wait. This world will change again. How we are living right now will not be the end. Imagine that you are in a cocoon waiting for something amazing to happen so that you can fly away to every parts of the earth, sharing your love and grace with everyone. So as we come to an end, for those of you who are in a house with your siblings, parents, I'd encourage you to hold pinkies with one another. I think that'll be safe. And we're going to end with taps, which was how we ended the day at camp. And so I hope that you will join me in singing. Day is done, gone the sun, from the lakes, from the hills, from the sky. All is well, safely rest, God is nigh. May the Lord watch between me and thee while we're absent one from the other. Thanks for the worship, friends.
Thanks,
Have a good day, everyone.
Yeah.